You know, that there are these moments when you're driving, just these few seconds,
Yeah.
where the road stops feeling like just asphalt and paint.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes this battlefield, a place where your reflexes and, frankly, just blind luck are put to the ultimate test.
Exactly. And that's what we're really getting into today. We have this incredible firsthand account, a document somebody wrote called The Three Musketeers of Death.
Quite a title.
It is. And it's this stunning log of a driver who ran into three consecutive near-fatal situations in such a short span of time. It completely changed how they saw risk on the road.
And this isn't just one kind of danger. It's a study in contrasts.
Yeah.
Right? First, this massive, unstoppable tipper lorry.
And then almost immediately after, the complete opposite. Two small, chaotic, totally unpredictable auto rickshaws.
Right.
So our mission here is to really unpack these three events. We want to look at the mechanics of each one, the vehicle, the environment, the driver's action, and see what it tells us.
To understand how danger can just manifest out of nowhere, and what it really takes to survive when the margin for error is basically zero.
Mm-hmm. It's about instinct, preparation, and, that little bit of luck you can't account for.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the first disaster, let's set the scene. The source paints a picture of a road that was, just built for trouble.
It really was. It's not a highway, nothing straightforward. It's described as a tight, sharp Z's curve.
Which immediately kills your sightlines. You can't see what's coming.
You can't. And to make it worse, there was one of those elevated mirrors at the corner, and, those things are supposed to help.
Supposed to, yeah.
But sometimes in a really busy or complex scene, they can just give you this distorted fisheye view that confuses more than it helps.
And the geography just added another layer of chaos. There's a petrol pump right at the bottom of this curve.
Right. So you don't just have traffic following the road. You have cars and trucks constantly pulling in and out, cutting across the main flow.
It's already a mess. But then you have the obstacle arrangement. This is the key part. The driver comes around the bend and sees what they call a wall.
And it literally was a visual wall, a massive truck trailer just parked. But it wasn't parallel to the road.
No.
It was parked at a perfect 90-degree angle right at the exit of the petrol station.
So it's creating a total blind spot.
A complete blind spot. And it's also blocking any potential escape route. You can't swerve right. That option is gone.
You have the Z-curve limiting your view, a confusing mirror, unpredictable traffic from the petrol station, and now a physical barrier blocking your view and your path. It's a perfect storm.
And that's when the tipper lorry makes its move. It was waiting behind that parked trailer, completely hidden.
And the driver just decides to go for it.
Goes for it. The source says it lunged out from the station to cross the road.
Without any warning.
No warning, no signal, no inching out to check. Just a full commitment straight into oncoming traffic.
With a vehicle that big, there's no time to process. You just have to act.
It's pure instinct. The driver reported this violent swerve hard to the left, and you get this auditory detail, the sound of tires screaming against the asphalt.
The reaction was perfect, but the space they had to work with was tiny.
Terrifyingly small. The car, as they describe it, danced dangerously close to that parked truck trailer.
The wall?
The wall, exactly. They missed hitting the tipper lorry by a few feet, but only because they also missed hitting the parked trailer by what must have been inches.
If they'd clipped that trailer,
they would have been thrown directly into the lorry's path. Game over.
So let's analyze that for a second. We can talk about the driver's reaction, but the real issue here is from the tipper driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a catastrophic failure of, what would you call it?
I'd call it a failure of sightline management, for one. But more than that, it's a failure to account for the vehicle's own limitations. The threat profile of a lorry is all about mass and momentum.
Once it starts moving, it's not stopping.
Exactly. And the decision to lunge suggests the driver was operating on an assumption. Either that smaller cars would just get out of the way, or that they had the right-of-way simply because they were bigger.
It's a physics problem. The kinetic energy of that lorry would just obliterate a passenger car. All the safety features in the world wouldn't matter.
And the psychological impact is fascinating. The driver says in that split second, they saw their car in that elevated mirror.
Yeah.
And with it, a ghost of what could have been. The brain processes the fatal outcome even as you're avoiding it.
That image would stick with you. But what really gets me is what happened next. After all that, the tipper lorry.
It just rolled on, unbothered, as if nothing had happened.
Unbothered.
That word is so important. It points to this idea of of driver apathy. Maybe it's professional blindness from being on a tight schedule, but it's this complete failure to register the life or death situation you just created for someone else. That indifference is just chilling.
And the driver gets zero time to recover. The adrenaline from that must have been immense.
I can't even imagine.
But the story isn't over. Not even close. The cognitive fatigue from that first incident had to be setting in, making them more vulnerable to what came next.
That's a great point. You'd expect a moment to breathe, to pull over, but no. The driver keeps going, now at a more moderate speed, maybe 45, 50 kilometers per hour.
Trying to regain some sense of control.
Exactly. They're on a straight, moderately busy road. They've just survived the massive, heavy threat. Now they're about to face something completely different.
We're moving from the danger of mass and inertia
to the danger of what you could call reckless agility.
Incident 2. The scene sounds so normal. The source says there was a neat row of auto rickshaws idled along the curb.
Right, we've all seen it 1,000 times, but the threat profile here is all about unawareness and chaotic movement. They're small, they're quick, they can turn on a dime.
And one of them does.
Oh, it does. Without any provocation, the source says one auto jerked into a sudden U-turn. It just launched itself directly into the driver's lane.
And the detail that stands out is no warning.
Zero. The source is very clear. No signal, no hesitation.
So again, no time to think, just pure reaction.
Another slam brake, more screeching tires. This time, the auto's bumper missed the car's bumper by inches.
Inches? After what had just happened.
It's what we call zero signal driving. It makes any kind of risk assessment impossible for other drivers. The lorry required a big spatial maneuver, a swerve. This demands a sudden, violent halt. They're totally different problems for your brain to solve back to back.
Okay, but I have to push back a little here. We're giving all the credit to the driver's reflexes. But wasn't the real saving grace the fact they were only going 45 to 50?
That is an absolutely essential point.
I mean, if they were going, say, 70, no reflex on Earth could have stopped that car in time.
You're completely right. The proactive defensive measure was the driver's choice to maintain that moderate speed. The reflex was the reactive one. The reflex only worked because the speed allowed for enough braking distance. So yes, the preparation was just as critical as the reaction.
And then it just gets absurd.
It really does.
Just 400 meters down the same road, before the driver's heart rate could have possibly returned to normal.
It happens again. A mirror image. The brain must have been just screaming at this point. Another auto darts out from the side.
A perfect repeat. It's not just about reacting to danger anymore. At that point, you're reacting to the sheer improbability of it all, the chaos.
And the driver uses this really striking analogy for that second auto.
I remember this.
It was so fast and so reckless, it reminded them of a child on a playground slide, reckless and unaware of danger.
That's it. That captures it perfectly. It's not malicious, necessarily.
No, it's not the cold apathy of the lorry driver. It's a kind of a blind unawareness. The vehicle is so agile that the driver feels like they can get away with anything, but they have no protection if they're wrong. So you, the other driver, you're forced to be the only adult in the room.
So let's synthesize this. In the span of just a few minutes, this person faced 3 totally different kinds of failure on the road.
3 distinct profiles. First, the lorry. A failure of scale and professional apathy. A slow-moving but high-consequence threat.
And then the 2 autos. A failure of reckless agility and, like you said, sheer unawareness. Fast, darting, low-warning threats.
The thread that connects them all isn't their size or their speed. It's that all 3 drivers completely abandon the basic idea of sharing the road.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The bigger takeaways. We're taught, that danger announces itself. You see the warning signs, you hear the siren.
But this story shows the opposite is often true, especially in heavy traffic. Danger doesn't want to be seen. It's designed to hide behind a curve, inside a U-turn, or in the blind spot of a mirror.
So you have to assume it's there, even when you can't see it.
You have to. And this experience led the driver to this almost ethical conclusion, this profound realization that when you're behind the wheel, you're not just responsible for your own life.
You're carrying the lives of everyone around you.
That is the real weight of driving safely, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are constantly, actively mitigating the potential failures of every other person on the road.
The source credits survival to luck and reflexes, but I think your earlier point about speed is key.
It is. Let's create a hierarchy. Luck gives you that extra foot of space you didn't earn. But it was the reflexes and the moderate speed that enabled those reflexes that put you in a position where luck could even be a factor.
So it's about creating your own luck, in a way.
By maintaining a defensive posture, You have to assume the parked car is about to pull out. You have to assume the lorry in your blind spot is making a decision based on its schedule, not your safety. If you wait for the signal, it's already too late.
That ability to just instantly switch your thinking from a big, slow threat to a small, fast one, that's the real skill.
That's adaptive defensive driving right there. It's not one skill. It's a constant running calculation based on every single vehicle you encounter.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
We've just taken this pretty terrifying ride with the three Musketeers of death. We've seen that danger isn't monolithic. It comes in different categories. Massive, indifferent scale versus small, unaware agility.
And the driver survived because of incredible, repeated, split-second reactions. But the lesson here, it goes deeper than just having good reflexes.
Much deeper. It's about recognizing that the apathy of the tipper and the blindness of the autos force you into a proactive state. You have to be the defender.
This brings up a final, I think, really important question for everyone to think about. The source uses those words, unbothered and unaware. If your reflexes are your last line of defense, how much of truly safe driving has to be based on, well, on proactively anticipating recklessness?
Or even assuming malice in some cases, instead of just relying on the written rules of the road or, hoping someone will give you a warning.
Right. Is the foundation of safe driving actually a kind of necessary pessimism?
That's something to mull over. That need to constantly assume the worst. That the other driver's distracted or indifferent or just plain doesn't see you. That might be the most critical and most mentally exhausting part of getting home safe.